Support for Radio Friends comes from IT Como, offering computer and IT services for small businesses and residential clients. IT Como can set up remote work-at-home solutions and data security and backup systems and upgrade your company email to more modern platforms. IT Como can also help you get the most from your technology at home. Learn more at itcomo.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, December the 23rd. This is Christmas weekend and we're glad that you're with us today. Hope you have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful Christmas Eve tomorrow and a great Christmas Day. But you know, someone that has been a tradition with us for many, many years during the holiday season is my friend Larry Brown, who's sitting right next. Good to have you here, Larry.
Good morning.
You've either sang a Christmas song or you've told Christmas stories, and this goes back to the Pepper and Friends Day.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Decades ago, Paul.
That makes us feel old, doesn't it, Larry? Decades we've been doing this. But what have you got today?
It's a traditional Christmas poem that most everyone will know, but I want to share it as close as I can to the original version. And then we'll have some time to talk about its influence on Christmas patterns, rituals, and talk about some of the differences that it has about our images of Christmas today.
Okay, so here is Larry Brown with a traditional Christmas poem told as closely as possible to the original version.
Yes, we'll try.
Okay.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out in the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutter, and threw up the sash. Now the moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster to midday, like midday to objects below. And what did my wondering eyes appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now, Dancer now, Dasher now, Prancer and Vixen. On, Comet on, Cupid on, Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before a wild hurricane fly, when meets with an obstacle, goes to the sky. The coursers, they flew to the top of the rooftop. The coursers, they flew with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. I drew back my head and was turning around, and down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were tarnished with ashes and soot. But his eyes, how they twinkled, and his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, and his nose like a cherry. His tight little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the hair on his chin was as white as the snow. He held a pipe, the stem of a pipe, tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad little face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. But a wink of his eye and twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He went, without saying a word, he went straight to his work, filled all of the stockings, and then with a jerk, laying a finger aside of his nose, giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and off they all flew like the down of a thistle. And I heard him exclaim, ere they flew out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Now we know that. We know that poem. However, there were a few changes in it.
Not changes. Well, there were changes came since. Now, it was Clement Clark Moore who, in 1833, first penned that poem. And he did not admit it until much later. It was the 1840s when he finally admitted that he had done it. He was, I think, more interested in academic concerns. And there have been controversies about whether he did it. I know he was greatly influenced by Washington Irving and other writers of the Dutch tradition in New York. But yes, you picked up on some of those things. In the original version, some of the words are not the same. And I think of the things that we don't necessarily think of. There was only stockings. Like, there was no Christmas tree. And it was only for kids. There was no presents for anyone else. There is nothing about a red and white outfit. He's covered in fur, but then ashes and soot. So this is a guy who's come down through a dirty chimney. He's dirty.
Right.
And he looks like a peddler, opening his pack. There's, and the smoke. He's smoking a pipe.
Right. We don't see Santa Claus
we don't
smoking.
see Santa smoking.
And the Santa Claus that we know wouldn't really fit down the chimney, but it's magic.
But wait.
What?
Did you caught that earlier? A miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer and a jolly old elf. So the scale of Santa Claus is down in that story. And I kept saying, well, that's how we could have gone down the chimney. It wasn't the 6-foot-tall Santa Clauses that we may encounter today.
Yeah.
Well, the issues that come out of that, at that time there was a lot of controversy between Protestants and Catholics whether or not Christmas Day ought to be celebrated or not. And much of Christmas didn't start until Christmas. So this is going the night before Christmas.
Okay, You got it. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for a bit of history there.
Right.
And remember, there still is that special magic of Santa Claus. Santa Claus exists, sure as anything, in our hearts. We're out of time. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Merry Christmas.